because it's a time and a place for everything. I'm not gonna say he's right and I'm not gonna say he's wrong. You know, but it's so crazy. When he spoke about it, I could have easily came out and said, yeah, you spoke about it. I ain't have to say nothing.
People, more fighters that probably were afraid of him are not going to be afraid of him anymore.
I really don't know. Anything can happen, man. You know, possibility. Possibility. I would love to see a rematch, but it may happen, it may not.
Floyd Mayweather has offered his thoughts on the rematch between Lamont Roach and Gervonta Davis. He voiced his opinion, arguing that Tank should have stayed away from the rematch because he did not perform well in the first battle. According to Davis, Mayweather's hesitation to endorse the rematch is motivated by envy and a desire to maintain his notoriety. In reaction, Tank openly accused Mayweather of being conceited and unable to acknowledge the accomplishments of other fighters.
Floyd don't never want to see no one like a fighter do better than them. How the say Terrence Crawford should fight? Benavidez. That don't make no fucking sense. You don't never want to see nobody be better than him. I'm telling you.
Who's next in line? This one, you next in line.
Is there like a
The last question, guys.
is there like a love-hate for like
Yeah,
the fighter?
yeah, I love the fighter. Like, I ain't gonna lie, if he was like chill, like he'll be the smoothest. But he's not. You know what I mean? He's a great fighter. And my bad. And
you're good, man.
And he cause I don't want to say like he's just a scumbag, but it's like he's a great fighter, and sometimes he can be good, but it's like it's always I'm this.
Controversy surrounds Gervonta Davis's exit from Mayweather Promotions. Public arguments and tensions with Floyd Mayweather accompanied his decision to leave the promotion. Given that the two men held divergent opinions on how Davis's career should be handled, these problems brought to light the complexity of their working relationship. Their public fallout highlighted the power dynamics in boxing promotions and the difficulties players confront in choosing between their own independence and the assistance of well-known people in the sport.
He said, I'm not signed to a single soul. So is Tank now a free agent, or is he still signed with Mayweather Promotions?
Well, this is the Mayweather Deji press conference. So I'm here to talk about Dubai. I'm here to talk about entertaining the people, having fun, and I'm not here to talk disrespectful or bad about any fighter. You know, they say America is the land of the free. You know, so we live, we love, and we keep striving each and every day. That's what life is about.
Veteran Bernard Hopkins recently offered his thoughts on Gervonta Davis's career. Hopkins asserted that Davis had to escape the constraints that were holding him back, which included Floyd Mayweather Promotions' power and influence. Hopkins underlined that Mayweather's degree of influence over Davis's career kept him from completely. After realizing his potential and departing Mayweather Promotions, Davis was able to decide for himself what fights he wanted to pursue, including if he wanted to face Lamont again. Roach Hopkins thought that Davis would flourish as a boxer with this newfound freedom, making choices according to his own preferences rather than outside influences.
Commenting on saying, hey, this is my career, you had yours, I respect you from buying me a chain, buying me this, buying me that, take me on a jet, all that's great, but at the end of the day, I'm only going by his interview, you seen it and I seen it. Thank you, Floyd Mayweather, for all the things you gave me. If the intentions was you just looking out for me. But I got an opportunity to fight this big fight. And this soap opera between you and Oscar for all these years, I'm not going to let it affect me. That's my interpretation. And Tank wants to do the fight, but he had to break away from the chains of somebody he still respects and respected then. And he said, man, I got to do what I got to do. This is my career.
The first fight between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach was surrounded by controversy, primarily due to the officiating by referee Steve Willis. Critics argued that Willis failed to award Roach points during key moments, leading many to believe that the referee's actions unfairly influenced the outcome. The fight ultimately ended in a contentious draw, sparking widespread debate. In response to the criticism, Davis fired back, challenging his detractors and suggesting they could settle the dispute with a rematch. He made it clear that he was ready to prove himself again in the ring, determined to silence any doubts about his skills and abilities as a fighter. The controversy surrounding the initial bout presented an ideal opportunity for a rematch, and Davis eagerly accepted the challenge, looking to reaffirm his dominance and settle the matter once and for all.
I don't know what the just happened. You're a referee. You should have seen what's going on. Why I would have, if I'm in the corner, I'm erratic in between rounds. What was your feeling in between rounds when you seen that?
We was going off. My assistant coach, Ben Johnson, he was going off on it. Like, hey Steve, what the f wrong with you? He was cursing him out and everything. He was like, that was a knockdown. Yeah, he just stood off and waved us off, and he was like,
yeah, because for me, one person would have been having to deal with Lamont, and the other would have been the whole 60 seconds.
Yeah, that's how it was. I was dealing with him, and my man Ben was dealing with the rough.
Right.
We got his attention along with the low blows as well. I was like, how many blows you gonna let us hit us with before you take a point? And then he finally warned him like in the 11th round.
That's crazy. Is there anybody in boxing media or media in general, because nobody picked you guys to win at all. Nobody. I mean, I've seen you guys go on promotional tours from whether it was boxing podcast to the Breakfast Club. Nobody picked you guys to win. Like, when you get a second, you grab me a water. Sorry. And is there anybody that you got, I know because it's more than one person, but is there anybody, thank you, that you took personal out of all the interviews that you did? Is it one or two people or three people that you be like, this right here, anybody else, but I want to prove this one person wrong?
It's not necessarily that I wanted to prove them wrong, so I wanted everybody to shut the fuck up, for real.
Yeah.
Like, but I already...
Recognizing that their previous bout damaged his reputation, Gervonta Davis is keen to set up a rematch with Lamont Roach. He sees the rematch as an opportunity to establish his supremacy, resolve outstanding issues, and solidify his status as one of the best fighters in the world.
We gotta talk about it. So Tank officially came out and says that he wants to put this rematch as early as May. Now, if that were to happen, Lamont Roach gets a second time to prove himself. Now, in my personal opinion, his stock has already risen. He is already notable. The fact that he went toe-to-toe with Tank on a decision that ended in a draw, whether he loses this second fight or not won't even matter. Because he's directly in line to go against the Keyshawn Davis, the Shakur Stevensons, and etc., the Devin Haney's, and etc. I can see him moving up and going against Devin Haney or Ryan Garcia or somebody like that. So many people to fight. Lamont Roach has definitely proven himself. But let's talk about something else. And that is the hairstylist situation. In my humble opinion, I believe she should have been quiet. As a hairstylist, there was nothing for you to say. No fan in boxing was gonna look at them like, I don't want her to braid my hair. No one would have said that. But she hurt herself when she came out and publicly made multiple claims, got all these receipts that no one needed, no one asked for, saying, oh, this had no grease or oil in it. No one cares. Nobody even believes it. Sometimes it's best to remain quiet. But you guys let me know in the comments. Should she have remained quiet, or should she have did what she did, which is spoke up? You let me know.
Jeff. Floyd's father was taken aback by the contentious result of the initial bout between Davis and Roach. He acknowledged that the events that transpired in the ring surprised him. In spite of this, Jeff Mayweather made it clear that he loves Gervonta. Although Davis did not view the outcome as a robbery, he did admit that Lamont Roach's performance affected Davis's standing with boxers who used to fear him, but now felt more comfortable taking on him, casting doubt on his supremacy in the ring.
First of all, are you surprised that everybody's wanting to see a rematch between these two? Because no one expected it to be a close fight in the first place.
That much is true. And me, myself, I mean, I'm a big Tank fan. And I was shocked. I was shocked at the outcome of the fight.
Who did you have winning the fight?
I had Roach winning the fight.
Do you consider it robbery, or do you lean Roach and are cool with the draw?
I wouldn't say it was a robbery. I mean, the fight was close. But if I was a judge, I would have gave Roach the fight.
All right. Talking about this rematch, what do you? I mean, so the one thing Tank always had for him, everyone, he had that kind of almost like Mike Tyson-esque, right? The air of invincibility, the knockout power. People were scared of him, that kind of thing. Do you think what Roach did to him, moving up in weight, and not being a big puncher himself, but able to withstand Tank, that kind of his air of invincibility has maybe been slightly diminished?
I won't say it's been diminished, but I do think that more people, more fighters that probably were afraid of him are not going to be afraid of him anymore.
And do you think that's almost something that can play in Tank's hand, right? Maybe we had an off day, everybody has an off day, and take him.
Yeah, everybody can have off night, but I think the one thing that is the most important thing that nobody's talking about is the fact that
skepticism from spectators who are aware of Davis's battles in Saudi Arabia. The rematch's Las Vegas venue pays homage to the city's boxing heritage. Boxing fans across the world are becoming more excited about the June rematch.
The good rumor is that Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach are going to be rematching possibly June 21st in Las Vegas. I don't know if Vegas just wanted to fight off the publicity, especially with Turkey taking a lot of fights over to Riyadh, or they didn't want to return back to New York State Athletic Commission after they did Lamont Roach dirty. But Lamont said the terms were already agreed on for a rematch. He just had to sign it, so it seemed like, it's going to be this Vegas summer blockbuster. It's probably going to be the biggest fight of the year as far as in the United States. So it'll be interesting. Nevada State Athletic Commission don't play, but we'll see how it goes.
Another elite fighter in the lightweight class, Shaka Stevenson, offered his thoughts on the impending rematch between Davis and Roach. Stevenson, who has previously sparred with Lamont Roach, expressed his opinion that Roach may win a rematch. He also commended Roach's distinct fighting technique, pointing out that it was unlike anything Davis had ever encountered.
Rematch look like between Lamont and Gervonta, you think?
I like Lamont in the rematch.
You were one of the few that kind of picked Lamont to begin with. Why was that?
I sparred with Lamont. I knew that he was a good fighter. He helped me get ready for the Oscar Valdez fight. And I knew his style, with Tank's style, what he was going to be able to bring to the table. I knew it. So.
Did you really win 20 rounds?
I swear to God, on my daughter's life, I won that much money.
How different does a rematch look in your opinion, Shakur? What adjustments do you think we see from both?
Huh?
What adjustments do we see from both in a rematch?
I think I can't tell you game plans. I could be fighting these guys, so I'm gonna keep my secrets to myself. But truthfully, they both good fighters.
Do you think it's a lot different rematch, or do you think it'll be close again?
It's gonna be a hell of a fight.
How did you see Tank in that fight? A lot of people are saying maybe he's just mentally not there. What did you see?
Nah, he was the same Tank. I don't believe that. I don't got no thought in my brain that makes me think that he wasn't the person he been all of these other fights. I think he was the same person. All this stuff that he going through stuff. I mean, everybody go through stuff. So he's the same fighter. He's gonna be the same fighter throughout his career.
Obviously the part with the grease in the eye, that took on a life of its own. You know what I'm saying? That was a headline in the fight.
one is, what did you think when he said that initially, just like the grease in the eye? But two is like, when you was in the fight, was there any point that you saw that? Like, did you see like him kind of messing with his eye, or did you have any indication that that was something that was bothering him?
No, see, and that's the thing. If you look at the whole fight, he was never bothering his eyes before
you jabbed him.
Before I jabbed him. Even that right hand that, like, you know what I'm saying, that kind of landed, he kind of rolled with it. But after that, you could see him wipe his eye. And then, right after I hit him with the jab, you could see him wipe his other eye. So it's like, it was corresponding to which hand that I punched him with and exactly which eye. So it's like crazy for him to say, it's grease in my eye. And I think even when he say that, you could see me, because I'm right beside him, you could see me like, nigga, what you talking about? So,
right. But you say you don't think he willing though.
Whatever. See, but who cares? Like, sweat gonna get in your eye, blood gonna get in your eye.
Yeah, it don't matter.
Spit fuck around and get in your eye. You know what I'm saying? But you, it's not like you can be like, all right, time out, ref. Hold on,
Take no
ref.
time out.
You can't do that.
Right. Would you be cool with Steve Willis doing the next fight?
Hell no.
He can't do the next fight.
No, he can't do the next fight.
Right.
No.
Pops, it's a no?
Hell no.
Yeah, fuck that nigga.
Yeah.
You know how many
Coach Ben on him, man. He lucky he ain't running Coach Ben after that fight.
But look how many times he fucked the fight up though. Right. The knee, him going to the corner to get assistance, like, who knows? Not saying that they did any cheating shit or nothing like that. But like, he wiped his face with a towel. You can't do that.
Right.
You can't do none of that.
Right.
That's a disqualification. You turned your back on the ref after you took a knee. Usually the ref gonna be like, all right, he don't want to fight no more. Fight.